So I want to start by telling you guys a story that's not funny, but I want to share with you. I'm in Fairbanks, Alaska right now. I got dropped off in my Uber. The guy dropped me off, and there was moose poop in my front yard. And it made me really happy. And I'm not kidding, and I want to tell you why. So when I first got divorced, by the way, I know we talked some smack about my ex on Gutfeld. We make fun of the divorce, but I want to let you guys know in all sincerity, I get along very well with my ex. I think it's really important to have that kind of communication. She actually texted me right before I recorded. I'm not even kidding you. It says, fuck you. It's important we still communicate just like we did when we were together. I think that's good. I saw the moose poop and I got excited, and I'll tell you why. Right after I got divorced, I did live in like a divorced man's condo. Okay? Very, very small place. I think it was 600 square feet. It was 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and I would have the kids every other weekend. So my ex would have them one weekend, I'd have them one weekend. Wonder where they went in the weekdays. Anyway, this condo apartment I lived in was it was actually an incredible location if you were a drug dealer. But it was a bad neighborhood, and it was a tight fit. It was 3 kids with 1 bathroom, and there's part of that I love though. I loved that, like, I had to sleep with 2 kids in my bed, and they were getting of that age where they're like ready to go out on their own and have their own rooms and stuff. And so it gave me a few more weekends of being able to cuddle with my kids, which was cool. I also really appreciated that there was nowhere to go. Like, no, there was nowhere to hide. Like, I always knew where all my kids were, and I like that too. But it was a bad neighborhood. I was walking in. I talked about this on Gutfeld once. I was walking in one day, and this guy goes, "Hey man, if you like weed, apartment 2B, my brother-in-law sells weed cookies. Just knock on the door, and we'll sell you some weed cookies." And I was like, "Oh wow, man. Does your brother sell anything else that you could buy legally at the store?" Weed's totally illegal here. "Could your brother get me some beers?" It was a really bad neighborhood, and I decided I needed to move, and so I got rid of it. And this is not a joke. 2 to 3 weeks after I got rid of that place, there was a drive-by shooting, and there were bullet holes. Not in my apartment, but I was on the 3rd floor. There were bullet holes in the 3rd floor that came through the window from a car. I don't know how that's a bad. That guy's not a good, but still very dangerous. And I was glad to get out of there. So the reason I felt really good about the moose poop was, as I pulled up, I bought a house like 4 months ago. Nothing too fancy, but everybody has their own room, and there's bathrooms. It actually has 1 more bathroom than I thought. I guess you can go in the front yard. That's what the moose did. But it just made me feel really good. I'm grateful because I bought the place in the winter, and so I've never seen my yard yet. And I was like, yeah, baby. And the fact that there was a moose there, I don't know, it made me feel, it really made me happy that there was moose poop. Like at my old place, every once in a while you'd see some poop, but it was from a human. Anyway, we had a great Gutfeld this week, and there were some jokes I did not get to that were not for TV. The first story that I think I backed off on a little bit or kept a couple to myself was RFK came on and was saying, he was saying the CIA killed his uncle JFK. Now, this is wild, man. I haven't heard, RFK make a statement like this, since every day for the last 10 years. Did the CIA kill John F. Kennedy? I mean, it's possible. I feel like the government treats us like children. I don't think they tell us everything. We, think about what we say to kids. We have, we pretend there's a Santa Claus. We pretend there's a tooth fairy. I was at the coffee shop yesterday with my little boy, and he goes, "Look, Dad, that guy looks just like Santa Claus. It's Santa Claus." And I look over, and there's like 5 guys that look like Santa Claus. He could have been talking about 5 different guys. Big white beards. That's what Alaska's like. It must be very hard to get like a mall Santa job here. Like, Stiff competition. But of course the government's probably lying to us. They treat us like shit. Like I was in bed with my daughter. She was sleeping in the bed next to me, and she had lost a tooth. And it was first time one of my kids lost a tooth on my watch. And as we're going to sleep, she goes, "Hey, Dad, on the off chance you're the tooth fairy, don't forget to put $5 under my pillow." But by the way, RFK, he's like, "Oh, the CIA killed my uncle." Hey, how about you say spoiler alert? I haven't even seen the new Oliver Stone, reboot. Now there's no reason to watch it. That's one of the advantages of knowing nothing about history. I'm constantly surprised at the end of historical movies based on true events. I was watching Pearl Harbor. I was like, what? Another joke that I decided was not for TV was we did the story. There was a story about there was a man that worked the front desk of a hotel. He was the hotel manager. One of his guests woke up in the middle of the night and found that the man was sucking on one of his toes. Can you imagine if this happened to you? I would be appalled to be like, "Come on, buddy, you're a little bit low." That one might even not be for the internet. You know what's weird about this story? This happened at a Hilton. This wasn't like a Motel 6. It's like a nice hotel. I don't like how Motel 6 is like, they're like, "Hey, we'll leave the light on for you." Nah, you can shut it off. I don't want to see, remind myself of all the mistakes I've made. Let's get it as dark in here as possible. "We'll leave the light on for you." Nah, let's make it pitch black, and I'll pretend I'm wealthy and staying at the Four Seasons. Just this morning, they said there's been a rise in crime at grocery stores. People, I guess, are doing smash and grabs, and the new thing is people stealing groceries. And the story that came out today said a man robbed an Aldi's. There was another story that said a man robbed a TJ Maxx. Hey, real quick, if you're going to be a criminal, why not go to Saks Fifth Avenue? We don't have to bargain shop. We're going for it. We don't have to look for. You don't want to be stealing stuff from the clearance rack. At least go to a Target. This might be controversial, but these are my rankings. Nordstrom's rack. I love a Nordstrom's rack. I love almost any kind of rack. But Nordstrom has a very good. Nordstrom's rack is great. Then I go Marshall's. Just below that, big fan of Marshall's. I was in Marshall's not that long ago with a buddy of mine. He was the executive producer of our Netflix show, Real Rob. And Marshall's has everything, right? I was buying a nose hair trimmer. I buy one every time I go in there because they only work once and then they break. But he was there's always a snack aisle, And so he bought this granola from Marshall's. And we're leaving and we're in the car and he opens up the granola, starts eating, and he goes, "Man, this is not very good." And I was like, "No way, man. That food you bought at the clothing store isn't good?" That's so weird. But anyway, I go Nordstrom's rack, I go Marshall's, I go TJ Maxx if I'm in a pinch, and Ross. If you're in a Ross, you made some bad decisions. But yeah, this guy robbed the TJ Maxx. They busted him outside. It turned out he had taken $3,000 worth of clothing. That was retail. But it was only $119 at TJ Maxx prices. So, not that bad. We just need the punishments to be a little more stiff if we want to dissuade these folks from stealing stuff, right? In New York City the other day, I went to a Walgreens. I needed some toothpaste, and they had, I needed razors and toothpaste. And so the razors were locked up. That made sense to me. Razors are expensive, man. A block of razors, that's like a gold brick, dude. That's expensive. But I went to get toothpaste under lock and key. You need to get an associate. Soap under lock and key. You need to get somebody. Soap, shampoo, toothpaste, and deodorant. All locked up. And then I was like, no wonder this place smells like shit. This whole city. I say we leave that stuff unlocked. Did I already say this? I'm not making a joke, but I don't know if I said this already in this video. My therapist thinks I might have ADHD. And I'm smiling because I honestly don't remember if I said that. I have no idea what I was even just talking about. And here's the problem with possibly being diagnosed with ADHD. I'm supposed to call this woman in Fairbanks to set up an appointment to get tested for this. I keep forgetting. I wonder if you don't make an appointment to get your ADHD checked out, if you just automatically have ADHD. Because I swear that's what I keep thinking, like, oh, I got to do that, and then I forget. But lastly, I was flying in on Alaska Airlines, and I was in first class. I've never paid for first class, but I get upgraded a lot because I fly a lot. I'm like a golden moose on Alaska Airlines. You can be an Eskimo brother is the highest, but right now I'm a golden moose. Quick story: I'm flying in, and there's a guy across. I'm in the bulkhead. Do you know what the bulkhead is? It's where you can't put your bag in front of you. Like if you have a backpack, you can't put it in front of you. So I had to put it in the overhead. And the only reason that's a significant detail is because there's a man across the aisle from me, and he's drinking. I can tell he's been drinking some alcohol, and he's eating popcorn. I have to say something. I have a little bit of a problem. I am very sensitive to people chewing. Very sensitive. Like I remember this one time, there was a man very close to our family, and he was eating a peach. And I was just listening to him eat this peach. And the way he was eating it, I just remember thinking, like, what did that peach do to you, man? Like, what do you have against peaches? It was really something. Like I would have agreed to be a witness if that peach wanted to press charges against this man. It was really, really aggressive. And it was driving me crazy. Like there was one moment where I was like, if this guy takes another juicy, noisy bite of this peach, I'm going to prison today. I'm going to prison today. I said something. I go, dude, you got to settle down with the peach. It's driving me nuts. And he says, oh, you must have, I'm going to look it up because I can't remember the name of it. But he goes, you must have misophonia. I go, what's that? He goes, misophonia is where you're extra sensitive to people chewing. And I was like, I guess that's possible. Or maybe you have chew like an animal's disease. Do you know? Isn't it possible that you have eat with your mouth open syndrome? And there's nothing wrong with me at all? It was insane. But anyway, this guy across from me, he's eating popcorn. He's aggressively he's eating popcorn like if he stops eating popcorn, the plane's going to crash. Like he thinks that. And the reason it's the fact that I'm in the bulkhead is relevant is I can't get my headphones because we're taking off and they're in the overhead compartment. So I can't even put headphones on. So I've got to listen to this guy, and he's drunk and he's aggressively eating popcorn. I'm kind of losing my mind. So we fly a little ways. He's getting a little bit more belligerent. And here's how I knew he was drunk. Towards the end of the flight, he goes to the flight attendant. He goes, hey, when's last call? When's last call on the flight? She's like, oh, we don't really have a last call. And it was like her and a guy trying to kind of manage him. There was a female flight attendant and a male flight attendant. By the way, can we stop with the stereotype about male flight attendants? Like, I get it. Like, yeah, some of them are gay. But then there are others that are super gay. Okay? So let's have an open mind. But you could tell they were kind of trying to calm this guy down. And so as we're landing, so the guy goes, I'd like one more drink. And the lady's like, what do you want? And he goes, I want a mixed drink. And she goes, what kind? And he goes, give me a whiskey and whiskey. He ordered a whiskey and whiskey. You're drunk, sir. He's eating popcorn. I finally get up. I get my bag. I put my headphones on, and we're landing. As we land. We get up to the gate, and the plane makes that noise when you can get up. It goes like chime, where you get up and get your stuff. And the pilot comes on, and he goes, hey guys, do me a favor and just keep your seatbelt fastened. By the way, pilots always sound super relaxed for flying a tube of human people through the sky. You know, there was like, yeah, we're going to be flying about 20,000. I don't give a shit. 25,000 feet. I'll figure it out when I get up there. I don't even know why they're sharing the altitude with me. You know what my preferred altitude is? A little bit above the mountains. I trust you on the rest of it. Yeah, I would like you to fly just higher than the trees and mountains. Everything else totally up to you. You can keep it to yourself. They're so relaxed though. Here. Anyway, and he goes, please keep your seatbelts fastened for a few extra minutes. That's weird. Because they already got the tube thing connected. It's time to get off. Drunk guy, not happy about this. He goes, well, I don't want to get off the plane. They go, soon enough, sir. He goes, well, I want to get off first. And the female flight attendant goes, oh, we'll let you off first. And he goes, good. Door opens. 3 policemen come in, kind of surround the guy. They go, sir, you're being belligerent. I think they also said he was doing drugs in the bathroom, which I was like, oh my God, why would you not ask me if I wanted to go there with you? Yeah, and so then the guy goes, well, I'm not going anywhere unless I'm being arrested or detained. And one of the cops goes, yeah, you're being arrested and detained, so come with us. And then they walked him off the plane. It was great. It was a real karma moment. I loved it. My phone was dead, or I have a video for you guys. Dang it. Going viral is the way to do it, man. Back in the day, it was like, how'd you get a sitcom? It was like, oh, I did comedy for 20 years and wrote jokes and I honed my skill and I, worked at it. I worked the road and then I got a sitcom. And then nowadays it's like, how did you get a sitcom? He's like, oh, somebody threw a tomato and hit me in the balls at this open mic. This is my 3rd time on stage. Now I'm selling out Tuesdays at 5 p.m. at the comedy clubs. So I could have used a viral video, but I didn't have my phone. My phone was dead. But I love it when there's a little karma. And so they carted the guy off. He's like, what are you charging me with? And he was like, they said, we're charging you with, I think it was drunk and disorderly. I thought it was going to be for rape of popcorn. I got to go. My mom's visiting. I'm going to go grab my kids from school. I'm excited about that. It's beautiful outside. Our summers are only about a few hours long, so I got to get out there. Hey, thanks for watching Not for TV. We'll see you next week.